This is my A2 Computing Coursework project where I digitalize a board game. When the player opens the game, they are presented with this interface, which gives them access to the main game, the card collection screen, which shows all the cards that the player can potentially have in their game, the settings screen, the extras screen, which has options to view the leaderboards in the game history, and the button to exit the game. There's also a button to quick start the game if the player wants to start the game with all the previous settings used. The card collection is the simplest of the four screens. When you click on this, you have a scrollable list of all the potential foods that could be in the game. You can see that under the description we have an explanation of what the cards do, and under the strategy we have a very brief description of when it's a good time to play the card. You can also return back to the menu by clicking the back button in the bottom right. In the settings menu, we have options for changing the resolution, changing the quality, toggling off and on full screen, and lowering and raising the volume. The resolution contains all the available resolutions for the system. When you click play, you're displayed with a list of options for foods you can add to include in your game. So for example, I might want to include dumpling, eel and onigiri in my game as my appetizers. I might decide that I want wasabi and soy sauce as my specials, and I might want tamaki to be my rolls and green tea ice cream to be my dessert. If I then end up deciding I don't actually want any of these options, I can click X on whichever option I want to remove, and then just simply change to an appetizer that I don't already have. Clearly you can see that I tried to add in an onigiri, but because I've already ordered an onigiri here, I can't add in a second one. After the player's chosen the number of players that they want to have in the game, let's say we go for 5, nice in the middle, we can click play and this will open up the game. When you enter the game, all the foods that you chose last round is displayed at the top, alongside the nigiri, which is in every game. You'll have a hand of cards which you can drag and drop into the play area if you want to play them, and as you drag the cards into the play area, your score in the bottom left is incremented. We have a music trigger which will turn on the music for the game. We have an AI cards button which will display the leaderboards, which shows all the cards played by each player alongside the score that they've earned so far. This can also be triggered by pressing the tab key, and you can also press P, which will display the pudding that have been played by each player. In this case, no pudding has been played yet. You can click R to display the roles played by each player, and you can click S to display the menu. And the menu has options for full screen, volume. After you've finished playing out all of your cards, an end of round screen will open up, which gives a summary of all the cards that need to be scored at the end of the round. For example, rolls. In this case, I lost 4 points because I had the least number of tamaki out of all players, tied with AI3. The amount of points I just lost are displayed under U. In this case I lost 4 points, and it also displays the totals earned by each player during that round. There we go. When you click continue, the second round out of 3 starts. Additionally, any puddings that the player had in play from the previous round stay in play, and if the player chooses to play another pudding, it's added to the same section as the previous pudding. Some cards, such as soy sauce, will display an event message when you hover over them. This will give you an insight into the card. In this case, soy sauce will score you 4 points if you have the most colours out of all players. Since everyone's only played 1 card this round, it makes sense that I have the most colours. Thus the card says that I currently have the most colours. If I did not have the most colours, it would say how far I am behind the person with the most colours. Once you finish 3 rounds of the game, a final scores screen is opened. This will display you once again the amount of points earned from rolls this round. It will also display any points earned from pudding. In this case, AI1 played 4 green tea ice cream. This will score them 12 points. And the final scores for each player are displayed, as well as the winner of the game. Once you click continue, you're taken to a leaderboard screen, which will display a list of all the players that have entered their name already into the game, along with their highest scores, their average score, and the number of games they've played. The player can input their name in order to update the leaderboards with their score. Let's pretend we are Gemma. When you enter her name, you can see her highest score has increased to 22, her average score has increased, and the number of games she's played has also increased. As part of my project, I've implemented an AI. This AI works by, on the first round of the game, the AI will play a card from a select few cards that are given a relatively high priority, cards that want to be played first. So for example, I would want the AI to play cards like tempura, eel, and dumpling before anything else, because these are the cards that you build your strategy around. If we take a look at the leaderboards, you can see that for the most part, this holds true. However, some cards, like Maki 3 and like Squid Dujiri, are just cards that are really good to play. These cards are also included amongst those high priority cards, because Squid Dujiri just straight up gives you 3 points, making it one of the strongest cards in the game, and similarly, Maki comes in 3 types, Maki 1, 2 and 3, with Maki 3 being the highest value. From round 2 onwards, the AI plays a card which is heavily influenced by the previous card played. You can see that with AI1, since they have already played an eel, they're extremely likely to play an eel if they have one in the hand they've been dealt. If they do not have a card that they want in the hand they've been dealt, let's say they had an eel but they didn't get an eel in the next hand, then they'd play a card again that's given a relatively high priority, with no real meaning behind the decision. If a player has 2 tofu, they score 6 points. However, if they have 3 tofu, the amount of points gained goes down to 0. When the player plays a takeout box, a button appears on screen, and the player can then select any cards they have in play in order to get 2 points for each card they flip over. Once they've finished, they can click Done, and at the start of the next round, their score will decrease appropriately to match the cards that they just lost. When Chopsticks is played, a button appears on screen. The player can click this button in order to play any 2 cards from their hand. When the player plays an edamame, they score points equal to the number of edamame already in play. At the start of the game, obviously there are no edamames in play, and a suitable event message is shown. We can see now that 1 edamame has been played by 1 other player, and the event message is changed to show us that there is now 1 other edamame in play. When we play this card, we gain a point. Finally, here's some footage to demonstrate the game working.